All right. Shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Machak Wadash. Peace and double honor to the apostles and others of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right. Coming with another lesson. All right. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Machak Wadash. All right. And we're going to continue on in this line of videos. All right. Which I've been going into the Gospel of Luke. And we're going to just go right into it. All right. With this right here, which is Luke, the 14th chapter. And Lord's will, this will be edifying, all right? Straight to the point. I'm going to just go through the chapter from top to bottom. And there's some other precepts that I already have in mind, whatever else the Spirit has come out. We're going to get right into it, all right? Luke 14:1, and it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, that they watched him. And behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsy. Okay, now the dropsy, when you go into it, is talking about, I believe, swelling in the body, swollen legs or swollen arms, things of that nature. All right, and real swollen, you get blimped out with that particular condition. All right, and it was set up like that for the Lord to do a miracle. All right, and the Lord really did do these miracles that's written. Okay, because you have men out there saying that he didn't do miracles, that this is all symbolic. Now you could get spiritual meanings from the miracles that were performed, but there was actual miracles that happened. The Lord raised the dead. The Lord healed people. It says here, Yahweh Shai answering spake unto the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? Because these men were being over righteous. All right. And they held their peace, and he took him and healed him and let him go. He made sure they saw it, because the Lord knew their mind. All right, he could read minds, and he knew already that they were wicked, that they were of the house of Saul. They were of the 2/3 club, right? So essentially, he did these things on purpose, and that's why he said, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day?" To show an example of what not to be, because the Lord had a hatred for them because they were wicked. All right, and answered them, saying, which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day? Right. We to the best of our ability, we're supposed to keep the Sabbath, but there's certain things that's just common sense. If let's say your child is in danger and you have to, make a move on the Sabbath, and you're going to do it, or whatever it might be. Okay, and then pray to the Lord for mercy, because ultimately we're in these bodies of flesh. All right, so if you have an ass or an ox, which the Lord is comparing this man that he healed to the ass or the ox, he pulled them out of the pit. And they could not answer him again to these things, and he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them, when thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. Right? And applying it to this truth now, see, we don't we ought not to strive to have a higher position than what the Lord gave us, or to try to like some certain men out there look at this truth as some political thing of trying to like get power and get influence, and it's not about that. Going into these false camps with the wrong doctrine, IUIC, ISUPK, right? Okay, so essentially, the Lord is saying to be humble. Okay, and he that bade thee and him come and say to thee, give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. With shame to take the lowest room, right? So we want to be in a mindset to, be walk with humility, to not think more of ourselves than what we are. And when the due time comes, the Lord will put whatever position men are meant to be in that proper position. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, friend, go up higher. Then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. You see? So it's better to be of a humble spirit and to be taken care of when the day comes. I'm going to let the 11th verse say it. Says it better than I could ever say it. All right. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. And that's the point of the parable. All right. And he was getting at the wicked scribes and Pharisees because they were all about that, the chief position, the high exalted priest. One example that comes to mind is the head of the Sakari, Alazar. He's saying that he's the chief priest. But if you were really the chief priest, you wouldn't have to go on a campaign to say that. Everybody would just know that off rip. All right. It wouldn't be a controversial thing because it would be universally accepted. Like in the time of Ezra was the high priest and everybody knew it. It wasn't a controversy of it, who is, what is what. But the fact that you have to put yourself in that position, okay? Yep. Hey, look at what it says here, Bible trivia. Yahushua teaches that whoever exalts himself will be humbled. See? Boom. Correct. You see that? All right, because we just read it. It wasn't hard to get that right at all. It was common sense. Okay, but there's men out there like him. Another one that comes to mind is the head of the IUIC. Another one that comes to mind is General Yohana. He thinks he's in the seat of King David, essentially. But it's better to be humble and have the Lord. An example of it on the flip side is our Apostle Elder Tahar. He never claims to be the high, even though really in reality he's the top man in Israel on earth right now. All right, under Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, but he doesn't exalt himself. He just does the work, and that's an example unto all of us. But then you have men on the other side that they want to seek to have a better position and try to honor themselves. But the Lord said that those that do that will be abased. All right, which means what? To be brought low, because those men are filled with pride. All right, then said he also to him that bade him, when thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and a recompense be made thee. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. Hey, call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So it's better to be amongst the brothers, the brothers, period, because we are the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, in the spirit. We are the lowly of this world, essentially. This is what it's getting at. And instead of, these worldly people, friends, family, or whatever, or people that can give you a worldly recompense because you want to be keeping up with the Joneses, or, if you invite them to your spot, or you invite, you want to congregate with certain type of people that you can get there's a recompense on the flip side in a worldly sense, to where, they might invite you to something or something like that, right? The Lord said to instead deal with the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, the lowly of this world, which is the hopeful elect men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and there will be a heavenly recompense, a heavenly reward. All right. But reading on, it says, and when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these things, he said unto him, blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of the Most High. Then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper and bade many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee have me excused. Now, what comes to mind is the 14th Street Israelites, which the apostles, hey, my brother, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah. That's the spirit up. That's the spirit up. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah. But yes, that going into this remind me of the 14th Street Israelites, because essentially those guys looking like they fell off, or they might be somewhat preaching still, but they're not going out, or they're not making it apparent. They're not on YouTube. Not to say that if you're not on YouTube that means that that's the end all be all, but if you were once on it and then you have people looking for the word, and that you have a channel and you just disappear, it's a bad look. All right. Because why? Because they were of those that will make an excuse. All right. And they all, it says, and they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee have me excused, right? You know, men to say, oh, I got a new crib, I got this going on, that going on. No, it's all weak excuses, man. All right. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. Another weak excuse. 5 yoke of oxen is actually 10. All right. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. And that reminds me of Deuteronomy 20. Let's grab it real quick. Pretty sure I actually touched on this in another lesson, but that's the spirit having to come out again. Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter. Yep, Deuteronomy 20. I'm going to get straight to the point. Deuteronomy 20 and 7. And what man is there that have betrothed a wife and have not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle and another man take her. All right. Well, once you die, you know, your wife is technically, according to the law, she's fair game. All right. Unless that man had a brother, then I believe the brother is supposed to take take the widow of his brother. I believe that's how it is in the law, if I'm not mistaken. All right, but the point being, you know, certain men, if you have your mind elsewhere, you know, on your wife or your house or whatever it might be, right? Your worldly possessions. The wife is just a form of a possession. All right. Then see to those things. But in terms of this battle, the men that are on this battlefield need to be laser focused on the heavenly prize. And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, what man is there that is fearful and faint hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart, right? So that's heavy, all right? Because now applying it to this, these men were all making excuses, you know? Oh, well, I got this going on, you know, I can't do this, but there's nothing more important than serving the Lord. So none of these excuses are going to hold up, okay? Because what this great supper is talking about, the return of the Lord, the kingdom. When Yahushua cracks them clouds, man. All right. Let me grab this precept, brother. GMS Shar Lachama Shalawama. Psalms 133 and 1, a song of degrees of David. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Yep, that true indeed, brother. True indeed. You know, and that's one of the blessings of life, is that we don't have to walk. We can walk amongst brothers in this faith is a beautiful blessing, man. All right. And we have to, appreciate that the Lord has us amongst brothers, even if it's through these epistles, man, you know. But let's continue reading on. Luke 14 and 21. So that servant came and shewed his Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. Yep. And that's what we're doing now. We're in the streets, in the main concourse of the cities of the world, bidding the elect of the nation of Israel to the marriage, all right, which is the kingdom, all right, salvation, okay? And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled, right? The highways and hedges, that's where we go and preach this word. For I say unto you that none of these men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father. Now, real quick before I get into that, all right, none of them which were bidden shall taste of my supper, meaning that, all Israel was called. Okay, you had it back then, the wicked scribes and Pharisees. They knew that they were Israel. They claimed to be masters of the law and these righteous men. So why didn't they receive the Lord Yahushua when he came if they were so righteous? That's because they were really, in all actuality, hypocrites. Okay. All right. Because many are called, few are chosen. So there's many that are going to be bidden to the supper, but not many are going to actually show up. All right. They say 90% of success is actually showing up. And that's the spirit. It's 11:44 right now. All right. Reading on, Luke 14:26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple, right? Okay, we have to hate the things of this world. And in reality, obviously you're supposed to honor your father and mother. So when reading this, we have to apply balance. But indeed, essentially what this is getting at is that we have to we have to put the Lord first above all these things, even our own selves. All right, we have to put the work, presenting ourselves as a living sacrifice, being selfless, being about Yahweh Shai. And to be about Yahweh Shai means to be about his body, his men, and feed his sheep. Putting the brotherhood first. The scriptures say to prefer each other above ourselves. All right. Luke 14:26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Right. The scriptures talk about those that hated their lives unto the death. Okay. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Yep. So that's what we have to do, bear our cross. Okay. We got to follow in the footsteps of the Lord. Okay. Yahweh Shai, the scriptures talk about those that follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. Okay. And that means to suffer in this thing, to suffer patiently. All right. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Right. That's an embarrassment. You start building something and you don't have the means to finish it. That shows us lack of proper prior planning. Okay. Lest haply after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. You know how it is. You be around the hood and you look at that crib or that street that they just been working on it for ages and they never finish it. And everybody's like, what the hell's going on with that? That's a damn shame. And that's how it is with those that begin in this faith and don't finish it. And Lord's will, we can continue until the end. All right. Because the scriptures say, he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. All right. You could be on fire for a year, a few years, certain set amount of time. But if you fall out at the last minute, then, it was all for nothing. Because the Lord is dealing with those that endure all the way until the end. All right. Saying, this is Luke 14:30, saying this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? You see? Yeah, what king going to make war against another king? You're going to count the cost. You're going to measure it out. All right, I have this much. I have this many troops. I have this much provision. I have, this is the angle that we coming at. This is the type of weaponry we have. This is the type of armors and shield, so on and so forth. That's counting the cost. That's wisdom. That's prudence. Or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an embassage, like basically an ambassador, and desireth conditions of peace. Right. That's called wisdom. All right, this army is mightier than mine, and in order to preserve life, I'm gonna use wisdom, and let's negotiate, right? Instead of going to war haphazardly. Okay. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. That's the point. Okay. That doesn't mean we sit there and ruminate and say, I hate my family. I just hate them. But in reality, we hate the things that they do. Okay. We hate the way that they are because they're not in the faith. But at the same time, it's really just talking about putting the Lord first. All right. You have to be willing to forsake everything that pertains to this life and follow the Lord Yahweh Shai. All right. In closing, Luke 14:34. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill, but men cast it out. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Yep. And the Lord always mentioned that. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Because it was for those that their ears were opened by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to receive these things. All right. The salt being the truth. All right. Because Israel is the salt of the world, but salt without its flavor is pointless. All right. So if you lose the light of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is truth, then what good is salt that doesn't have any that can't season anything? It's useless. It's cast out. All right, and that's what's going to happen to the wicked of our people. All right. Yep, that's another good precept, brother GMS Shar Lachama. 1 Peter 2:17. Honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear the Most High, honor the King. Yep, honor Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Love the brotherhood, because by doing so, that is loving Yahweh Shai, as it is written in Matthew the 25th chapter. All right, to love the brotherhood. The Lord said when He comes back that that those that did well unto His little ones, the members of His body, the elect, that it's as though they did it unto Him. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and close it out. Lord's word was an edifying lesson. I don't want Ratazak to catch up on the next one, the water for the precepts out. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Achak. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I don't want Ratazak catch up on the next one. All right, Shalom.